To Melissa's Vibes. Tonight I wanted to tell you something that just came up the other day. When I lived in my grandma's house about 25 years ago, I would sit there and I would hear um, something saying Son of Sam and collard greens. And I was like, this is a little strange. So was trying to figure out where it was coming from because when you're a psychic, you always have to do that. Where is this coming from? Who is this person? Or who is this? And anyway, um, so I asked my mom. I said, "Mom, what are collard greens?" She says, "Well, it's kind of like spinach and people eat it." I said, "Have we ever?" I said, "We haven't ever ate it. Somebody around us, do they eat it all the time or something?" And she's like, "Oh, maybe it's your grandma. You lived in your grandma's house and everything." And I was like, where's this serial killer coming from? But anyway, it took me years. And then I figured out I started dating my ex husband. Um, and he was into serial killers and horror flicks and everything else. And I figured that the Son of Sam was what I was hearing a long time ago was because of him. But then just the other day, I asked him, I said, "Have you ever heard of collard greens?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, they make them all the time. We made them all the time. My grandma made them. We ate them and everything and all this other stuff about them. And my uncle just loved them and all this other stuff." And I was like, it's been you all these years that you were predestined to be with me. I said, well, granted, we were married and we're divorced now, but it just came up the other day when I asked him about the collard greens. And I'm like, I've heard years ago. And then when I started dating him, I'm like, who's this lady that watches soap operas all the time and everything else? And I could just see this blonde lady, like a soap opera, you know. And he said, that's my grandma. My grandma, she watches all kinds of soap operas and everything else. I said, well, she keeps bugging me and everything. So he had to get used to me having a psychic vibe from the beginning. And I'm sure he thinks I'm crazy. But anyway, yeah, so he was predestined for me probably about 26 or 27 years ago and everything. And I just finally figured that out the other day because nobody I have ever asked about collard greens. And he said that. And like I said, he's got all these horror flicks and serial killers he likes and all this other stuff. Boxing, everything. Well, anyway, I just wanted to let you know that that was something that was a little different for me. And I hope you like Melissa's Vibes. Like and subscribe. Share with your friends. I'll have a lot more stuff on here. Okay. Take care. Have a nice night.